All right, so we're back with another video. We've ran into an issue. And, I have never fabricated anything to this extent before. So I'm sure this is quite normal to run into issues, and I'm already seeing where I messed up. I really should have tacked all of this together before placing it. So we've got all the exhaust kind of to the height it's going to be. And we're noticing that the exhausts are not the same distance from the firewall. And, if I didn't run a hood, really, I wouldn't care. I'm just going to be honest with you. It wouldn't matter to me if they're not perfect. But I'm running a hood. So that means there's going to be holes in the hood. That also means the holes are not going to be in the same spot. So we have to fix that. And I've been standing here staring at this for the past couple hours. I've determined what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut off this turbo flange on the exhaust side that I welded on. I'm going to rotate it just a little bit to bring this exhaust more at an angle this way because it's actually off. So the angle of the turbos are off, and that's really what's messing this whole deal up. The height, I don't really care. The heights can be, I can just cut the exhaust to make them the same. But the actual angle of the turbo is just tweaked a little bit the wrong way. So we just have to chop that flange off, tweak it, and re-weld it. And the turbo should be good then. We don't have to touch anything. The wastegates are good. I actually really took my time welding those, and we got those really good right off the bat. I just have to fix that turbo because the exhaust is in the wrong spot. And that's also going to probably shift these boots a little more in line. It's really going to fix a lot of the issues I was having, which I really didn't have issues, but this has got to be close for the hood. You know what I mean? Like the hood, when it's closed, if one exhaust is 1.5 inches off, you're going to see that. Like the hole is going to be way closer to one side than the other. So that's all that I care about. That's literally it. I don't care if everything else was off, as long as the holes are in the same spot on the hood. So that's what we're going to do is we're going to fix this flange so that the actual holes line up. I still don't know if I'm going to be drilling those holes, but we're going to get this close so that actually works out. But look how cool this looks. I mean, I know that ain't symmetrical yet, but that looks good. It's really making me want to keep the stainless there too, but they're probably going to be black because I want to Cerakote those. And that's also why we got to fix all this, because next week, all of this is going to Cerakote. So we got to get this fixed. Also, I have turbo mounts on the way. That's also going to be in this video because we're going to be making those. So we're going to get all this stuff yanked off and cut up and fixed, and then we should be good. So just to give you an idea, now this isn't so what I did, I took all the bolts out but one. This is how much I'm off on the flange. I just need to rotate that flange literally 1/2 inch that way. And now these are in line. Those are in line. They're not the same height. They're because they were cut at different time. But those are in line. Everything is literally in line now with each other besides the heights. Just ignore that. And that literally would fix my problem. I can't believe that's literally all I have to do. I've been standing, I don't think you understand. I've been here for 2 hours just staring and wondering how I'm going to fix this. Because it was going to bug me. And that's all I had to do. Well, I say all that. I still have to cut it off. But that's it. All I had to do was just rotate the turbo a little bit. So, I'm happy. I'm happy that I found the solution. But now we got to actually fix it. So, that's going to take a minute. But I'm just glad I've came to a conclusion of what I'm going to do. So, yeah, we're going to have to figure out how I'm going to mark that so I know exactly how much it's got to rotate. But I'm going to get that thing rotated. And, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to do that tonight or if I'm going to wait till someone gets here. But I'll figure it out. You'll see in the next clip. All right, so we're going to start with just tacking this thing up, taking it back over to the truck, making sure everything's good to go. Then we'll finish weld it, and we'll get this problem fixed. All right, so we got that thing all welded back up. We're letting it cool down, and then we're going to get it smacked back on the truck. Like I said, I'm so stoked that this actually worked. Also, one thing I want to go over. I did all the wiring on this truck. I made a video. It's super boring, so I'm not even going to post it. But I reloomed it all, did all that. This doesn't look as nice, but it's as good as we could get. Over there looks real nice. Everything looks good. So what I ended up doing with that is I did a aluminum tape, which is kind of like this that they use in the factory. So that's actually an aluminum tape from factory. I used a black aluminum tape, and then I put that decorative wire loom on it, and it definitely looks a lot better than what it looked. With the heat tape, it literally just looked like electrical tape, and that wasn't gonna fly. My thinking is, I moved all these wires around so they don't touch anything, and I heat wrapped them just in case. So I might as well put the decorative wrap on there, and it shouldn't touch. If it touches, okay, well, we'll figure that out when that happens. But shouldn't touch, and Cerakote is going to help with heat so much. But yeah, once that thing cools off, we're getting that thing smacked back in, take a look at it, and I'm so happy that they were lined up with the tack. Should be lined up when it's welded together, because it didn't move or anything. And yeah, like I said, I'm stoked on that. I was so worried about that because appearance is what really matters on this damn thing. At the end of the day, this truck is for show. Like, yes, it's going to be fast. Yes, it's got twin turbos. It's got a whole look going on, okay? I wasn't trying to mess that up. So, yeah, I'll get back to you when this is put back together. Okay, so we got Mavin mounts in today so that we can mount these turbos. And so we can not risk cracking the turbo piping, where the turbo mounts and everything. That's a lot of weight on it at all times. So we're going to put Mavin mounts and run a 1-inch tube from the mount, which is going to be on the oil drain, and run it to the block somewhere. I haven't decided exactly where on each side. Both sides are going to be different because of the accessories, but we got the piping, we got the mounts, and we got some new tools. So we're going to go ahead and start building this thing. All right, so I've been working on this side a little bit, but here's what I've got so far for the mount. I went to that lower bolt on the alternator. It's going there. This is all welded up. That still needs to be tacked to the actual mount, but that's going to work on this side. Then we just got to do it over here. So I'm going to get this thing final welded. Oops. I'm going to get this thing final welded here and then get that all bolted up, and this side's done. All right, so I ended up having to do something I didn't really want to do, and that was tack it with a MIG welder. Wow, it's all mounted. But I fought this thing, kind of put it in and out with just a tack on. It kept breaking, so we got that thing tacked up now. We're going to yank it out, do a full weld on it, and then put it back in to make sure everything's good. Then we can move over to the driver's side. Okay, so while that one's cooling off over there, I went ahead and threw this one back on just to give you guys an idea of what it is, what its job is, and everything like that. So without this here, this thing's going to bounce and move and all this and that. And when it's hot, that is not a good thing. So with this piping, it's not the thickest thing in the world. Over time, it's going to crack and do that. Putting this mount without having the weight of that turbo on there really limits the travel, which is going to prevent it from cracking anytime soon. So yes, down the road, I'm sure it's going to crack. It's going to get a lot of heat cycles, this and that. But with that, it's going to make it last way longer, and it's just way stronger. Like, I can literally put all my weight on that now and not worry about this moving. Like, this doesn't even move like at all, which is great because these turbos are not light. These things weigh like 30 pounds, 35 pounds. So that on a piece of exhaust pipe is going to eventually crack it. And it's just going to save everything, like the headers and all that stuff, from having any damage. But like I said, we're letting that one cool over there so we can get this one made up. My idea here is we're going to do here 90 down, and then there's a factory bolt hole right here on the block, and we're going to make a tab that goes to that, and then that bar will go there. So I'll show you guys what the process looks like more on that one. Just making sure I can do it over here. But we're getting the 90 welded on over there, and then we're going to start mocking it up over here and seeing if we can get it to fit. All right, so I got this one bolted up. I need to make a bracket to go from, if it'll focus, from the head right there on that bolt hole to the end of this mount. And then this side will be all done, and we got to fully weld that as well. That's just tacked up. But once we get that little tab made, we'll weld this whole thing up, and then I'll show you guys what it all looks like. All right, so I got that one tacked up there again, and then I got this mount tacked there. Now we're gonna yank this all out, re-weld it all, and then round this all off and make it all nice. And then this one will be all done. All right, so we got this mount all done. We got that mount all done. The turbos are mounted and they are freaking extremely secure. So that's really all we had to do today, was to make those mounts. Now that is completely done. It is ready for powder coating. We have our new lid for our Holly coming in later this week. So we'll be able to actually fab up the cold side. And we're going to do something a little different on that than what you would normally see. But I think that's where I'm going to end this one. You know, we didn't really get a whole lot done, but we got a pretty important piece done. Because without these, this turbo kit would not last as long as I would like it to. So I'm stoked that I got it done. But like I said, we got the cold side on the way. We're going to be finishing that up later this week. So you should have another video here in a couple days over the cold side. And like I said in all the previous videos, you got to hit that subscribe button if you want to continue watching this build, because we are getting really close to getting this thing back on the road and having its first startup with the twins. And I'm super excited. So you got to hit that subscribe button if you want to stay up to date on this build. And I will see you guys in the next one.